Hi there, YouTube. Welcome to my page, Orange Dahlias. I wanted to talk about something I'm very passionate about, which is literature and specifically Shakespeare plays. The other day I had an argument with a friend on whether or not one of the more popular ones, Romeo and Juliet, is or is not a romance or a romantic story in general. Personally, I don't find it to be romantic. In the title itself, it does say Romeo and Juliet, a Tragedy by William Shakespeare. To me, I don't find anything romantic about it, but to my friend says it's a love story. So I'm going to let you be the judge. But I made little flashcards. I hope you can read them. I'll read them out loud, and you can kind of just judge from the pictures of pretty much a quick little biography or a synopsis of Romeo and Juliet. So, alright, you guys gotta help me with this and figure out once and for all whether or not this is a tragedy or a romance. Thanks. Alright, we're gonna go as quickly as possible. So, first off, Romeo and Juliet, a Tragedy by William Shakespeare. Drawings by me. Okay, first off we start in Verona, which is in Italy, and the Capulets and the Montagues are fighting, as you can see over here, and the prince comes in, and he says he wants them to stop, otherwise there's going to be consequences. Now, just for a quick little reference, red is Capulet and, red is Montague and blue is Capulet, and anybody who has both colors is neutral and doesn't really affiliate themselves with one group or the other. Okay, so then after the fight, they are splitting up and they both, hate each other. So that's basically so you know what's going on. Now, first scene, we see Romeo in, he comes running up, or not running up, he's moping around. As you can see, he's heartbroken because Rosalind doesn't love him. Not Juliet, Rosalind. It says right there, Rosalind doesn't love me. And he goes up to his friends, and then his friends want to cheer him up. So his good friend, Mercutio, decides, hey, let's go to a party. So they decide to crash the party at Juliet's house. So they're there, and, they see each other, and immediately Romeo's in love with Juliet. So basically, this is one of the more bigger scenes. It's the balcony scene. But basically, I call it the stalker scene because, as you can see, Romeo just shows up in her garden for no reason, by the way. Like, he's just kind of stalking her in her house. And she's there moping about him, and then he just shows up on her balcony, scares the living crap out of her. And they, decide, hey, we love each other, and they decide to get married the next day. Also, I want to clarify really quick, Romeo is supposed to be 16 in the story, and Juliet is 14. Keep that in mind. Anyway, get back to the story. They have a secret wedding held by Friar, the Friar, I think his name's Friar Lawrence, but you're going to have to check that out for me because I didn't write it down. So I haven't, whatever. Anyway, it's a secret wedding, and the nurse helps Juliet get there and blah, 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 blah. And then immediately after, they split up, and Romeo just goes gallivanting around the town, and Juliet goes home. Alright, so next scene, you see Romeo's cousin, Benvolio, and Mercutio are walking around the town, and Mercutio's just pissed off. And then Tybalt comes up, Tybalt, there he is. He comes up and he's looking for Romeo, because he knows, something's going on. He doesn't like Romeo. Basically, he just wants to cause shit. So, then, Mercutio just kind of flips out on him, and they just start having a sword fight. So they're fighting, and then Romeo's coming up, and he's all in love and just married, so that's great. And then Romeo comes up and asks them to stop fighting, because he's family with everybody now, so he doesn't want this fighting. And they don't listen, and Tybalt kills Mercutio, and it's a plague on both your houses, and Mercutio's dead. So then Romeo goes apeshit and just kills Tybalt, and then when the prince finds out, he banishes Romeo, and he says, that's it, this is the end, you guys, this has gone too far. So then he shows up, Romeo shows up at Juliet's house, and, he's like, I love you, I'm sorry I killed your cousin. She's like, alright, it's fine. Then they have sex, and then the next morning, Romeo leaves for exile, and she's just there, and that's it. So he's gone. And then right after he leaves, Juliet's family comes in and tells her, you have to marry Paris, who's the guy that, in the beginning, you kind of meet him. He has like 3 lines in the beginning, and no one really pays much attention to him. And they say, you have to marry Paris. She says no. and then her father gives her the ultimatum that you marry him or you're on the streets. So she goes up to the friar that married them and begs him to help her. So they devise a plan that Juliet would fake her death, like this, and then the friar would send Romeo a message to let him know what the plan was so he can come and get her when she wakes up and they could run away and live happily ever after. But unfortunately, the friar's letter is pretty much lost because there was some kind of quarantine and the guy couldn't get out. And then, so all Romeo hears is that Juliet is dead, and he freaks out. So he goes to an apothecary, and he gets some poison. And he runs to her grave, and he takes the poison, and he's dead, and she sees him dead. She freaks out. She tries to take the poison. There's no poison left. So she grabs his dagger and stabs herself. And they're both dead in the end, and the prince comes in as the final and pretty much calls everybody out and says, you're all dumbasses. This is all your fault. And everyone dies, and that's the end. And that's it. That's the only thing. So to me, a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old, pretty much getting married, having sex, and then killing themselves, to me, isn't romantic. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a cynic. Who knows? But you got to be the judge of character. So anyway, I tried to make this as quick as possible. I know it's not too condensed, but anyway, I just want your opinion, and let me know. Please put your comments in the thingy-majig down there, or video, or whatever. Anyway, thanks, bye.